What other tech scares you?
Deep fakes, pretty scary. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a perfect example of not taking the consequences into you get so caught up in the coolness, in the amazingness of the thing you just figure out how to do, that in itself feels like sufficient cause for sharing it with the world, and that's where the problem occurs when you release something, when you share something with the world without actually thinking through what it's going to do to the world.
I'm ambivalent about utter transparency. I mean, I think that there are upsides to it, but I think, I think it's certainly going to change the world we live in when there are no secrets anywhere for anyone.
I think for me the scariest thing is how the internet can be weaponized. Deepfake technology terrifies me. That's a very scary thing, and it's weird because we use a version of that algorithm sometimes in the de-aging process for actors or for aging them up, but again, in the wrong hands, that's just a weapon. People who didn't do things are suddenly are there on camera having done them, and that's quite scary. And I could see that being a huge problem.
I think it's scary when people have access to your technology you're not aware of. Like on my long drive here today, everyone's talking about the election, of course, because God, they haven't talked about that enough. But now they said, oh, and there's going to be this influence, and the Russian thing, as if that's now just commonplace. We've just accepted they're up and they're going to influence the election. Yeah. And that's so scary, right? Because it's not something you can see. So I think technology you can see is one thing. To me, it's the technology you can't see. Like what's happening. What can they see through the camera on my computer, on my phone? Are they tracking me? Why does it always know what I just bought?
The answer is yes to everything you just said.
Right, and that's really scary.
And beyond AI, is there any other tech that scares you?
Listen, CRISPR is incredible. CRISPR is one of the greatest innovations in our time. But it's a genetic editing. So, yeah, that's a concern for me. I mean, the idea that we could pick and choose the best type of humans is obviously hasn't had a great past. It's been anytime that people say, we know how to do this, we know how to pick the best humans, I'm like, oh yeah, really? I'm worried. So yeah, I would say CRISPR is a concern, as is anything that seeks out the betterment of humanity without taking into account what makes us good.
Yeah, in general, how transparent we are. I mean, I stay away from the Series and Alexis of this world because, I just
think
don't need
you
those
do.
extra...
It's in your pocket right now, my friend.
But,
like, she's already here.
Yeah, but it's the fact. I mean, you could say the same about even emails. I mean, everything. You're just the how exposed and how vulnerable we are to that. So it's like, do you just embrace it and just give into it, or do you make sure that there is it all goes back to who's in charge and what it's being used for, But definitely how exposed, I guess, we are, and the lack of privacy. Yeah.
What technology scares you?
The AI is a little scary. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all a little T2 for me.
Face recognition's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that one's a little.
Where they can just see exactly who you are by a quick shot. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I know I have my brother-in-law always hates the fact that there's all these cameras around, like Big Brother's watching. I actually quite like it because I feel like you can track me. If anything happens, God forbid, you'd know where I am. So I first thought that would be a scary thing to have. Like London, they have so many cameras all over. But I think that there's some things sort of secure about that. It makes me feel a little secure. I don't know what.
Something I'd say like cybersecurity. I don't think in terms of where we are moving in terms of the internet, our governments are really up to speed on that. Identity theft, credit card fraud, your digital fingerprint is online forever.
That's right.
And I don't think we all understand the ramifications or impact of that yet because it's fairly new to us. I mean, the generation behind me will probably get a better sense of it because they're growing up with the internet being a thing. I grew up before the internet was really a thing, so I don't think I'll really understand what it is.